What's happening, everybody? It's K2 from the United Souls crew. Welcome back to another Rewind episode, episode 6. We all need a fix. This week we got broken walkers, we got broken mothership, we had helicopter ride, we had ambulance come. It was full of all kinds of different stuff. This definitely got right to the core of survival mode and how serious this walk was going to be. So I hope you all enjoyed that episode. We're going to break it down now, go a little bit deeper into it, take another look at Google Earth. We're back with our boy Rocco here working the switches.
What's up, everybody?
How you doing, man?
Awesome. I'm totally energized and rejuvenated. Went to a great music festival this weekend.
Nice.
That was incredible. Jibber Jazz Productions.
Very cool.
This is a crazy episode. This is, it's only episode 6, and you guys are in some serious, life-threatening situations. I can't wait to ask some questions of, we got Cam coming on today. He's going to be able to answer some of my questions.
Yeah. We got Campaign in the house once again. What's up, Cam?
What's up? What's good? Yeah, I'm right here, man. You know it. Yeah, I got all the answers, man. Let's go. I'm ready to answer the questions. You know, it was definitely, when I look back at that episode, brought back a lot of memories. So, yeah, I'm excited as well.
Yeah, I've done a lot of long distance hiking, and I've been in the wilderness a lot, and I know what goes through your mind when you feel like you could be close to death. And it looked like you guys got kind of close there. When you first realized that you were back where you needed to be, what kind of went through your mind at that time?
Oh, yeah, when I got to the campsite, when we finally made it there, that feeling, yeah, that was a relief. Now, there was always this feeling inside of me, though, that just knew I just knew we were gonna make it. Now, in retrospect, I'm thinking about this stuff now, like the sheer naive nature we had is me. I was just so yeah, we had a group, and and we're all walking and we'll be fine. We'll be fine, but not realizing you can just get one wrong move and it's just all bad, and that experience after we got separated and then it started to get dark, and then it turned into okay, we have to find shelter and we have nothing, and then there's this kind of boulder rock sticking out of the ground that's sort of coverage, let's get under that. That's when it became oh, okay. Now I still was no, we'll be fine. This is cool. We're on a path. A lot of things were going through my head that made me feel like we would be okay. But Jonathan, he started to say, hey, he started to be real about the situation. Hey, this is bad, man. This is bad. We're not gonna. This isn't good. We're not gonna make it. I was like, no. We'll be fine. We're gonna make it. We'll be fine. And so a few hours into us shivering, literally, we got this wool blanket, and it's soaked. It's just soaked, man. And we're holding the blanket, yo, we got to do the body heat thing, bro. Hey, man, it is what it is. So we're cuddled up under a rock with this wool soaked blanket. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna be all right. And he wasn't all right. And like I said, a few hours later, I guess I made him feel like he was gonna be all right. But a few hours later, I wasn't all right. I was it all hit me what are we doing? We're out here a mountain lion could come, anything. We could probably be in the mountain lion's house right now. Just they come home oh, what are you guys? Oh, lunch, just had dinner served. You know what I mean? What's going on? And then that's when he said, nah, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. We're gonna make it. So yeah, he definitely pulled me back to life at that point, because I was raps. Now, I don't know how we were able to doze off, but we were. And I woke up in a jolt when it was no rain and it was at least light out. I was like, let's go. Let's get up. Let's go. Now, we were still both like close to hypothermia. I think Jonathan actually got like that shit. Like he couldn't speak. Like he was like, like, you know what I mean? For a little bit, for a while. When we saw on the video, that's what I was gonna say. What we see on the video there, like we're trying to be happy and cool about it and make it be like, hey, we're all right. But it wasn't. It was not all right. You know what I mean? It was like Jonathan, okay, so when I finally emerged and saw like that this looks like where we were walking on this path for a long time. It was like there was no signs of like benches or campsites or anything for a long time. And we were like, man. And so when I finally walked up, we were walking up a hill to get to where we were going. It seemed like we hit a fork in the road, and it was like, this is the way to Crab Flats or where we were supposed to go. We didn't have any maps or anything like that, but it was a hill. It was like kind of treacherous. And at this point, it wasn't even treacherous actually. At this point, our limbs were just locking up. Jonathan's, we didn't have water, we didn't have the stuff we needed. So his legs started to lock, so he couldn't like bend. Yeah, we didn't really have what we needed because we thought it was just right there. Like, and it was the amount of miles that we've done. We had been doing this for, a few days, for a while now. So, hiked up the side of the mountain on the other thing, so we kind of were ready for some of this stuff, but, yeah, this was different. And so we finally made it up, but Jonathan actually, he was like, yo, I'm gonna just lay here. He laid on the ground. He just laid there. He was like, I'm gonna just lay here and just come back, man. Like, I just come back. I was like, I can't leave you here. No, like, I don't want to leave you here. But he was like, just go. And, I'm going to be right here. I'll be right behind you. I'm right here. I was like, all right. And I kept going. But it wasn't that far up. And when I finally got to the top of the mountain there, I saw like trees, kind of like benches. It was like, oh, this is a campground. I was like, all right. I was like, at least it's a campground. Like, I don't know who's here. I didn't know. And then I started walking. And then Kevin, I saw the van. I was like, oh my God, like this is the campground? I was like, oh my God. I was just so relieved because I just thought we were somewhere random. I thought we were some random place and I didn't know we were going to have to, can I get your cell phone? Can I call?
That's the other thing. We couldn't communicate with one another. We couldn't talk. Our phones, like, I guess, were your guys' phones dead pretty much? Or we had walkie-talkies, but those weren't working. Like, we had no real communication.
Phones had no service, and then I'm trying to think. Did we have phones like that? Like, I mean, we had cell phones, of course, but like, they weren't that smart, and so
Was he still laying down the hill? He laid down the hill, and you went up, and then you went back down.
No. Once I finally got up there, I said to Kevin, because I was like out of breath and just like, I was like, yo, Jonathan, he's right, because you got to go get Jonathan. He's right there. He's right down there. He's like, just turn down the hills, that first cut, and he's right there. He needs help. Like, he needs help. And so they went over there and helped him up, like propped him up, helped him walk up there because his legs were locked. And then he sat down for a while. And I don't know, there's some other footage I was wondering about where he can't speak. You could see he's like,
that's hypothermia, man. That's definitely hypothermia.
He was like
to the point where you're all delirious and you're like drunk, you can't even walk.
Yeah. No, I mean, if there was nothing up there, I would have turned around and been like, all right, let me go back and get Jonathan. You know what I mean? Because we were a bit alone. We were both alone. So finally, I was like, oh God. And they had, their legs were good. Dragon was doing Tai Chi and shit. So, it was all energized. You know what I mean? Man, they went and got him, and that was amazing. And those guys that were there, those military guys that were there, they had their ATVs and stuff, and even they were just kind of like looking at us like, what are you guys doing? Like, what you got? What? Like, you don't have
after this?
And they were even more surprised about how the van got in there. They were all like tripping, like, how did you get this van in here? Like, why would you bring this van in here?
That's the part.
And that was honestly my whole thing too. Like, when me and Dragon were driving, and like, it was horrendous. Like, I'm gonna try to sneak some footage in of some of the trail, But like that was on my mind. I was like, we gotta get there. We already like we have the supplies. Like we have to get there. We risked a lot to get ourselves back all the way in that cut to that campground.
There's been a lot of closures, so we're not sure if we can drive all the way down to Crab Flats. We might have to do some hiking down to Crab Flats with some supplies. I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, we're cruising down there right now. And we're on Bowen Ranch Road, cruising down. This is where you get to Deep Creek Hot Springs. I bet they're still there, but it's gonna take us 5 miles to hike there.
5 miles to hike?
Yeah, for us, if we would try to go there from the road and park at the ranch, Bowen Ranch, then it'd be a 5-mile hike to try to go find them.
All right, okay. So right now we're looking at trying to get the supplies to the rest of the walkers.
Right.
Because they've been out there all night long and we're trying to get there as fast as we can. But this road is like, as you can see, it's not paved at all, so we're not sure what we're up against.
But it was better than, man, we should have the camera out yesterday. That was a crazy drive down the mountainside.
Yeah.
Coming down 173 on the fire roads. Mothership for walkers. Come in, walkers. Can you hear us at all?
It doesn't say anything. It says Willow Fire Restoration Area. All right, Kev, we gotta cross this thing, man.
I'm nervous, man. I'm really nervous.
So am I.
I don't want to get any type of little caught up lift because we'll just go tipped over and we'll go all sideways in the river, you know?
Yeah.
If there was any type of gripping, that's rushing through there. It's a lot of force.
You wanna try it? We have to cross this river, and since we have the mothership, we have to get it across here.
I just don't know how bad it is then even further, if this is the worst of it or not.
Well, you think we may have to cross it again?
I have no idea.
This is no joke, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. This is very, very serious.
I don't want to be too close to this.
And I myself am a bit concerned.
Ready?
Ready. There you go. We got it.
Wow.
Sweet.
That wasn't so bad.
Sweet. That wasn't so bad at all.
I was nervous.
Well driven. Well driven.
I thought we were gonna go down.
Well
Thought we were gonna go down. It was a big possibility.
Yeah.
Back on the pavement.
Yeah.
They would have been like, man, we just left that shit at the little creek like that. I'm not gonna get too excited yet. We don't know what's up around the bend.
Yeah, definitely. Right now we're traveling next to Big Bear Mountain via Crab Flats Road.
My way to Crab Flats Campground.
It's not a very easy road to travel, as you can see.
Wow, this road's already messed up all over the place.
It's narrow, winding, and even the pavement has collapsed. Even the paved part of the highway has collapsed. And again, we meet the river that runs right through this. Just go ahead, this one is narrow. Just go right on through it. You know, now we're back on dirt again. And the only thing about this is that at least we have spurts of paved highway to help us through those tight situations. Don't you think?
Yes.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And everybody was telling us that even that it was impassable, especially because it was
It's impassable. All right, which way
a
do we go?
rear wheel drive van, not even like a 4-wheel drive vehicle. Trying to get through all that stuff, and but yeah, that was its own whole thing of. But that was like I was like, we got to get there too. We got to get there. We got to get there. It was stress all around.
The van wasn't 4-wheel
Huh?
drive.
No, it was
van wasn't
rear
four-wheel
wheel
drive?
drive. Definitely not 4-wheel. They were like, "How did you do this? How did you get? Why would you drive this vehicle?"
He's like, you didn't tell me that. I would definitely have not gone on this walk with you if I knew it wasn't 4-wheel.
Yeah, that was just
Bro,
like
that's
a
what I'm saying.
little
We
family
were
family
just
van
so like,
cruiser.
yeah, let's do it.
That's crazy.
Huh? Yeah, we were just like, yeah, let's do it, man. Let's go, whatever.
That's the only way anything gets done.
Yeah, with the
It's just doing it.
And that was what happened. Then we made it. We all got regrouped, and we made it around the corner. That's when we got stuck in the little mini river there, and we didn't make it very far. And the van was dead, stuck in the water. And we were like, all right, well, okay, we'll figure this out. Next step, And that's like on the video. Then you can kind of see. That's where we took everything out of the van, and Derek and Doomster, they got driven. Like a sheriff drove them all the way back out to where we were. And we just took everything out of the van because it wasn't starting, it wasn't going, and we just had a little jam on the creek side right there. So that was pretty much how we kind of kept it rolling. And kind of when things got tough, we'd either start rhyming or rapping or singing or something, and it's like, see what happens. But yeah, so that was some serious stuff right there. That was like I said, I mean, we were all in the middle of it. Yeah, let's do a deep dive. Let me share my screen. Cool. All right, yeah. See, I didn't see this before, but when I was looking at it this time, I could see it was actually labeled the Pacific Crest Trail. Like right there, you can see Pacific Crest Trail. So it's actually labeled on here. So I think you guys, to get up to where this campground is, right here, I think or where was it? Holcomb. There was like a Crab Flats Trail or this Holcomb Crossing that you might have.
yeah, that crossing thing.
Yeah, because that's
you had to go off the Pacific Crest Trail onto another trail to get up to the Crab Flats.
Because that's what this Holcomb Crossing. I think that's how you got up to the campsite, which is.
And you didn't have paper maps with you?
No.
You were just following the signs on the PCT.
Yeah.
Well, we knew like where we were supposed to go and we were trying to get to, and we like, especially once we had passed, Jordan had said like, oh yeah, there's gonna be a split in the road, but actually not, because where there was a split in the road, there was like a little like bench area, like it seemed like a park. I was like, okay, So there's something. So that gave us a little bit of hope, and that was like a little bit past. That was a little bit past the rock where we stayed, basically. As a matter of fact, once we got to that little park thing, we almost were like, yo, let's turn back and go back. And that's when it got too dark. Wow, this is all coming back to me. We got to this little park thing, and it was like too open. There was nothing covering it. It was like, no, it was just open. It was like no covering. So we couldn't stay in that park. We needed some kind of covering, and the rock was the only thing that was slightly covering from the hail coming. It was hail coming down.
Yeah, because I could
Like
see it
cold
now.
ice rain, man.
Yeah, I remember we were I think at the campsite, and it was hailing, and we were like, oh man, this is not good in any type of way, because we still hadn't seen it. But yeah, so here's the Pacific Crest Trail. It comes this way, and then
So
it
if
looks,
there's some kind of like,
here's that Holcomb
if there's
Creek,
some,
and then that like doubles back then and goes
Yeah.
all the way back then the same, and then like loops around up here to get up then to the campground, it looks like. And then this is how far we made it then after we were parked right here basically, and then we only made it out and around this little corner right here. And look, there's actually a bridge here now. Before there wasn't a bridge, but this is where we got stuck. Yep, and this is where we're jamming right here on the side. You know, a little music, and the
Yeah.
van just parked right here. Because, yeah, I remember clearly when the ambulance drove off and you guys went up around the corner, it was just like, bye. We're like, okay, we'll see you. We're stuck here, okay. And, but yeah, that's,
man,
but they got a little
I
bridge here
felt
now.
bad, so I was like, dang, man, I felt bad. I was like, damn, we're just leaving.
Well, we felt, oh,
You
it
got
was,
any more hot chocolate?
but it was like we made it without incident,
Yeah.
like maybe a football field without incident, and we were back in trouble, like you know, after we just finally, and we were still like, you know, not knowing where our friends were going to be, and you know, barely made it anyway. Then we still had to drive out this whole windy road, which was just again just washed out roads and huge cracks to get up to here, where we made it up to the top and finally made it out. You know, this is where we found out it was Easter morning, and we came up here, and there was a family cooking up hot dogs up here right on this little landing, and we just like went over there, and they were feeding us and hanging out. And I wish I had video of that, because there was this little kid there. He was probably like 10 years old, and he was just shredding on guitar, playing all this heavy metal stuff, and he was just like going off playing guitar. But it was some of the lost footage that I don't know if we'll ever be able to recover, but that was kind of how we got out of that whole thing. It was, I think there was a couple other little rivers that we had to drive through too to get out, but because then we were basically got back up onto this main road here, the 18, and took that over to Big Bear, and then we kind of went down off the mountain to get out to where Giant Rock was in the Integratron. That's where then we ended up meeting up again, and that'll be. I'm real excited about sharing that video and us hanging out at the Integratron and Giant Rock, because that's an awesome spot. So we'll go back in and do another deep dive next week. So that was the Google Earth deep dive. Thanks for Cam for showing us some of the trail. We got to kind of see where the campground was. We actually found where the van got parked and all that kind of stuff. So it was really cool going back through and seeing a little bit more of, you know, what they were going through trying to get up to the campground. Because like I was saying, that was on our mind. We were all racing to get to this Crab Flats campground, and you know, as things kind of magically have happened on our journey, and things that we've had to deal with. One thing was that, as unfortunate that situation was, where there was a rescue mission training drills happening that day. You know, and there was all kinds of people like running drills, and they were trying to do stuff, and I think they were going to be setting up some type of rescue missions, and we ended up becoming the live action drill for the day. So it kind of worked out perfectly, and the rescue team used our situation as their drill. So they were circling around already, and they got the information that Jordan and Derek were out there, and like I said in the video, it shows a little bit where Jordan was telling her, you know, he wanted to keep going, but Derek was pretty much done. So they got helicopter flown about 2 miles of 2 days back to where we were, where we had just walked from. So we didn't know how they were going to get back out to us, because at that point we had driven out of Crab Flats and actually got the van stuck in an overflowing river that just kind of overtook the road, and we just got stuck right in the middle of it. And we couldn't get pulled out. The van was dead. It wasn't going anywhere. So we were just kind of stuck there, and we didn't know what was going to happen. And then a little bit later, I'll share some video of this. There was these two Jeeps, these two crews, and they just like pulled up with their Jeeps, and they were like, "Oh, are you stuck?" And they hooked their Jeeps up to one another, and we're just like, the one Jeep was pulling the other Jeep, and then that Jeep took attached to the Mothership, and they pulled us out of the water. The van still wasn't driving in any type of a way, but we did get pulled out of the water, and that's kind of where you see the van parked when we're kind of jamming on the side there. We took everything out of the van and just kind of sat there and figured, let's try to figure out if we can fix this thing, but first let's just play some music and hang out for a little bit, and then we'll assess the damage and see how we could actually move forward.
We are stuck in the middle of this. A river. Yes. A stream. A river. But right now the van has stopped and is stuck in the middle of it.
Yeah, we're rolling, buddy. This is.
All right, man. Well, as you can see,
There's water outside his window. How could that be?
this is where we are. And there is no way at this moment in time for a tow truck to reach us here at Green Lake Road, because we're right now in something creek. I say something creek because we don't know the name of it.
Holcomb.
Holcomb Creek. Holcomb Creek. Kevin did his best to try to latch onto one of the solid bars down here in the front and in the back, but they said when we turned on the engine, the wheels just were not moving. And they were not moving. So right now we have to bide our time and wait until one of the sheriff deputies gets in touch with both our friends who the helicopters finally found, and medical helicoptered them out of
Took him back to where we started from.
back to where we started from the Pacific Coast Trail.
Mountain's a scary place. Think the San Bernardino National Forest Service. We're actually volunteers, but we're not on duty right now. We're just out messing around.
Cool.
They're headed to New York,
Yeah.
cross country.
So I hope you enjoyed in the beginning of the episode. You got to see a little clip of Dragon doing some Tai Chi. We also had a focus on Skell walking through the rocks, you're gonna start seeing a lot more of Scale. She was like probably one of the most popular ones out of all of us. Anytime that people would come or want to talk to us, that we think they want to talk to us, they would just want to be involved with the dog, or make sure the dog had water, or give the dog food. So we had lots of people stopping on the side of the road, and they're like, "Oh, we saw you guys walking, and we wanted to go back, and we wanted to bring you back some dog food." And we're like, "Okay, cool, we got dog food, but all right." No water, no nothing for us, but Scale has her poster up in a whole bunch of pet stores all across the country, and was for sure one of the superstars of our journey. Thanks for watching, everybody. Episode 6, We All Need a Fix. This is a milestone episode, about a month and a half in. I'm really glad you're joining us on these rewinds as we kind of break it all down and go through the episode little by little. I want to thank Campaign, want to thank Rocco, everybody coming together to make these little rewind episodes happen. I want everybody to stay inspired, keep on walking, take one step at a time, one foot in front of the other. You're going to get there in the end. I hope this stuff is inspiring you as much as it continues to inspire us. Peace and love. We'll catch you guys next week.